I haven't started watching Rings of Power yet because I'm just not ready to be disappointed.
That is available now on Amazon Prime.
On Amazon Prime. I'm just not ready to be disappointed. Everything I've heard from Tolkien fans are...
Can you explain something to me then?
Yeah.
So, from what I originally understood to what it actually is, it's based on another book, right?
It's based on the appendices of the Silmarillion.
Okay.
They didn't have the rights to the Silmarillion, but they had the rights to the appendices.
What is that then? What is the appendices of the...
The appendices...
Are you a fan of the Silmarillion?
I've never made it through the Silmarillion. It is not an easy read. It's super long and really boring. So I've never... And I love Lord of the Rings. I've read all the books many times. But the Silmarillion is hard to get through. My dad's read the entire thing. I have not. So, you know, you can call me a fake fan. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's based on the appendices because they couldn't get the rights to the actual book. Oh my God, you have the Silmarillion.
Oh, yeah?
Have you read it, Giddles?
I bought this for a reason. And I will show you the reason right now.
To fight off prowlers?
Did you cut it out and put weed in there?
No.
Are there drugs in that book,
Giddles? There's a flask.
I wish there was. No. So I found this at a thrift store for $2.
Amazing.
Let me show you what it has. This is the reason why I bought it for $2. It comes with, built into the book, an entire fold-out of fucking
Middle Earth.
My book of the Lord of the Rings has that too. Yeah, yes, so, I love it.
So it like folds up into the book. So that way, like if you're going through, you can like, actually have like a visual representation
you get a reference
of where it is.
Where you're at, yeah.
But this is from like the 60s or something like that.
The appendices is basically the back of the book where it's like, this character is so-and-so, and this character
they made a show out of the summary of the book?
I mean, yeah, kind of.
The show that they spent $1 billion on?
And that's why...
And they didn't have the full rights? How did they not, if you're spending that kind of money, how did they not get the full rights to this book?
Exactly. Well, I think the Tolkien family didn't want to give it to them, and probably for good reason. So they kind of bastardized the story a bit.
I don't know. I've never read it. That's what I'm just assuming.
It's not, it doesn't suck. I think it's for hardcore Tolkien fans who love the world and want to hear more about it, because as you sort of read through the book, and this is what my dad has told me, because again, I haven't read it, but as you sort of read through the book, it connects a lot of stuff to the actual trilogy. The Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship, the Two Towers, and Return of the King.
Right.
So I think that it's one of those things that as you get through it, you're like, oh, and there's a lot of connections, but it's almost like reading a history textbook.
Gotcha.
Every Lord of the Rings book that I've read is just like, please stop singing.
There's a lot of singing. There's a lot
just where do you get where you have to go?
I know.
Like Tolkien's prose, like when he's writing, and it's just like, dude, I get it. He'll be like, and then the sun shined across the plains like 100 horses running. I'm like, dude, fucking just say it was a sunny day. Like, I don't need to know about how fast the sun rose. No one cares.
This was back when no one had any kind of entertainment, so this was it.
Also true, yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
and look,
you had theater, but not everyone had theater in their area, so you didn't have TV, there was no radio, there was nothing. So you're like, well, we'll just do it's like reading a television or a movie script with all the production notes and shot-by-shot storyboards and all of that stuff all together. Like, that's a Tolkien book. It's like, oh, take 3 over here, now looking over at Bilbo Baggins as he's taking this out of the bag, and then cuts over to here with it, and then the dialogue. You're like, oh my God, there's so much shit. But when you don't have anything, that's what you got. That's your entertainment value.
It's a beautifully written story. I don't know. I see what Giddles is saying. Sometimes it can be long-winded. The songs
it's just so long-winded, though. Like
sometimes I skip the songs. I'm like, I've read these songs.
You can break down those books into like one book. Like it needs an editor. Like you can cut out a lot. It's like, did you ever read American Psycho?
No.
Yes.
The book?
Yes.
Okay,
there's a bunch of stuff in the book that's not in the movie.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's in the book that's not in the movie, and like a lot of like horrific stuff. That's
the
in the book
ATM
that's
scene with the
or the part where he shoves the sewer rat up the girl's
yeah, that too.
Cuts her in half with the chainsaw and then eats half of her, and the rat yeah, lots of really fucked up shit.
That sounds fun.
That being said, the parts of the book that really got annoying was him describing in detail all of the shit that he owns. It was constantly like, and then he came over my house and I was listening to Peter Gabriel on my Sony A500 with Dolby surround speakers, that's like every other paragraph of the book, and it's just like I love the book. I think it's one of the best books I've ever read, but it's like, good God, dude. Like, I understand the point of this book is about like consumerism and shit, but like you have to like tone it down a little bit.
Right.
You know? Like, it's just too much.
You're like, I don't want to read every little thing that this man fucking owns in his apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. And it is one of those books where you need to be awake to read it. I can't be tired to read Tolkien and to read Lord of the Rings. Same thing with the Silmarillion. And that's why I could never get through it. I've tried reading the Silmarillion a couple of times. I'm going to listen to it. So yeah, and they've introduced characters that aren't really in the story. They've taken a 2,000 years and condensed it down into like 200 or 300 years. Okay. Apparently the writing is just awful. They're talking about some of the dialogue, and when people, and I have to watch it within context, but just some of the dialogue that people are sharing sounds so bad. It sounds so awful. I've had a couple of people say, oh, I actually like it. It's pretty good. Like, but there's few and far between. And so going into it, my expectations are really low.
What about have you seen the show open for it?
No.
Like how bad it is? Oh my God, Eric, you got to pull up the Lord of the Rings show open.
Is it the same? Imagine it's the same as Game of Thrones. Same music too. They're just showing Middle Earth. Dude, it's like they didn't even try. They're just ripping this other thing off that ripped them off in the first place.
Eric, I am not going to lie to you. When someone shared it to me, I thought it was a joke. I was like, this cannot be.
What's it called?
What it is.
The Power?
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power.
But dude, it's like a 70s soap opera. It is just a black screen with all the characters just turning their heads to the camera as it fades away. Yeah, as it like fades away.
I thought that was just a teaser. That's the show.
That's what I thought too. And someone was like, "This is the official show open."
Oh no, it was bad as a teaser, but that just knowing that it's no.
Here we go. I don't know why this music's on it.
Someone put this music to it.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. And that's supposed to be
because that's why it's so funny, because it is like a sitcom.
Oh, I don't like this.
I like it with the music. Is that Don Cheadle?
That guy, he's like, hey, Rings of Power.
And I gotta watch it, but from everything that I've been hearing, they have hobbits, and there weren't really hobbits in the Second Age. I'm pretty sure there were like sort of hobbit-like creatures, but they weren't the same as hobbits. They were just sort of similar. So they're just, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Again, I gotta watch it. I'm putting it off. I'm really putting it off.
I'm waiting until all these things are done. And then I'll watch it because I don't like. Because here's the thing: while I enjoyed the first 5 seasons,
weekly episodic, both of them,
or
did they put them all out at once?
Well, House of the Dragon only has 3 episodes out, and Lord of the Rings, I don't know how many it has, or Rings of Power rather.
Okay, so they're doing weekly then. Yeah, I think I may wait for like Giddles.
Yeah, proto hobbits. Yeah. Smeagol was not a hobbit. He was like one of the hobbit-like creatures. Yeah. Smeagol was not in fact a hobbit, but he was sort of similar. That's how they describe him in the books when they're talking about Smeagol. They describe him as like a hobbit-like creature.
This Psycho Gun to listen to this. Why are they giving the cheeky Irish man wink as well? And the big black lady looks like she's tripping her head off on drugs.
I know. What was that whole like? Okay,
the best is the
room's moving.
Yeah, that was what he's talking about, the Irish wink. Oh my God.
That was the best.
It's so terrible.
And you expect at the end, as they're doing this, and then like a female and a male character kind of turn and they go back to back in the rom-com pose.
Oh my
Lord
God.
of the Rings.
No. It's like they're making a mock, and then they're like, we don't condone racism, and people are like, yo, your show's just bad. Like no one said anything about racism. You just made bad stuff.
You've unified the world about how terrible this is.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of Black men and women being like, the hell is this?
Black Twitter, yeah. White Twitter, this... White Twitter's like, this is awful. Black Twitter, shit sucks. And it's like, everyone's coming together on this.
I'm on the same page here. That's what it is. It took Rings of Power to unify.
Doesn't matter. South Park did it with Tolkien.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good.
Wait, your name has been Tolkien the entire time?